Hey, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're going to do our shaky cam interior walkthrough in the all-new 2021 Toyota Sienna Hybrid. This is, in particular, is the Platinum package. It is the most top end of the options for this van, so it has tons of goodies in it. Excuse me. And this walkthrough is going to be fairly long because there's a lot to cover. Vans are about the interior, and there's a huge amount of interior here. So let's just get started. We'll start out with the usual controls, and then we'll move to some design commentary, and then we'll look at the back seats. Let's get going. So starting over here, you got all your usual door controls. You got windows here, window locks here. This is side mirror controls. This is what determines whether or not they fold in and out. So you can have them permanently out, automatic like it is now, or you can fold them in manually right here. Up here you have your seat memory settings. Over here you have a little shelf, and it's rubberized, so you could conceivably throw stuff here and it won't go flying everywhere. Down here you have a bunch of buttons. Traction control here, automated high beams here. This turns the 120 volt ACs on and off. There's more than one in this van because it has I forget what it's called on the Monroney, but it's an option to add more. There's one accessible to the middle seats, and there's one in the cargo area. Here you have steering wheel heat. Here you have your camera views, so you can toggle those really quickly. Here you have your dimmer switches. So this is dimming for the console and infotainment, and then this is to reset the trip. Down here opens the fuel port. This turns the power doors on and off. The rear doors, the middle sliding doors, and the rear hatch are all power. You can shut that off and force them to be manual with that. So let's look at the steering wheel. Going to the steering wheel on the left side here, this is mostly driver information control, so it's pretty much controlling what's in that big screen in the middle there. You have several options. I'll go through the menus when we're looking at the gauge cluster, but you control those here and OK whatever you're looking at here. This is a back button. This is for the phone, telematics. This is basically you pick up and hang up the phone, and you can make phone calls from here. So if you push this and your phone is Bluetoothed, you push this and it will ask you who you want to call, basically. Down here you have volume controls for the stereo, and this is for the voice recognition system. The voice recognition is fairly primitive. It's still just the yes and no or whatever prompts, very slow and tedious, kind of standard fare at this point, but we're getting to where that is no longer the case. Over here you have mostly, most of this is cruise control stuff, and then you have a couple things on the bottom down here. So this chooses your input mode for music or whatever, and then this moves back and forth between tracks and stations. The rest of this is all cruise control. So you turn it on and off right here. It is radar enabled, so you choose your distance here. Reset and set, you can see what those are. Cancels in the middle. This is the lane keeping. Lane keeping in this is okay. It doesn't really center you in the lane. It sort of just complains when you are moving out of center of lane. I think is the best way to say that. It complains. I was going to use a different word, but I'll just say it complains. Okay. That's a you know, I've mostly been turning it off. It's honestly kind of annoying to me. Over here you have the washer wipers, etc. This runs the rear wiper up and down for the front. You can see what the settings are there, and this sets the speed, so you can turn this to set how aggressive you want it, and then back and forth for washers. So pushing it that way washes the rear window, pulling it towards you washes the front. Over here is the signal turns. That's the order you use them in. And then you have lighting control. So you can see right now it's on auto, and there's a couple other ones, daytime runners and so on, and you can turn them off at the very bottom. This is for your fog lamps. Turn them on there, turn them off right there. And back and forth for brights. That's it. Now, looking at the instrument cluster, this is a hybrid, remember. So instead of a tachometer over here, you have this how you're driving or how much energy you're using meter. These are physical meters. They are not virtual, so they don't change. So over here you can see right now we're just sitting. It's doing nothing. everything is on, but the engine's not running. I'm not moving the car. Nothing's happening. So it's just sitting in kind of a neutral position. If you're driving and you stay in this eco position, you will probably get pretty good economy. If you move into the power, you're going to start losing a little bit of economy. And then, of course, when you're slowing down or coasting, it will go into the charge territory. Over here, you have the menus I was talking about before. Up here, you have a few things. Right now, it's in EV mode. We're driving in eco mode. I'll show you how to change the drive modes. And then up here is showing you what's happening on your safety systems, your radar, and so forth. The Sienna minivan comes standard across the board in all its iterations with a full suite of safety stuff, including front crash mitigation and stuff. That's true of all Toyotas now. So there you go. And then down at the bottom, you can see there's the outside temperature. Bitter cold today. We're in what is known as the spring of deception. So we just got past the false spring, and now we're back into sort of winter conditions, expecting snow and whatever. And then pretty soon it'll get warm again, but that'll be the spring of deception, where it will be warm for a little bit, and then about Mother's Day, we're probably going to get a blizzard. It's kind of how it happens every year. Welcome to Wyoming. This is your gearing, and there's your odometer over there. Now, looking at this, let's do this, and then we'll talk about driver information. So over here, you got speedometer. So you can see you got the regular one, you got Canuck miles per hour. Over there, you have fuel. I have put almost 100 miles on this thing this week, and look at that. Still chuck full. Pretty amazing. All right, we'll talk about fuel economy in a minute. So on the driver information screen, you can see I have it on the digital. Then I can move it. Here's the driving support systems. So if you move back and forth, or you move to this one, you can change. This shows you what's going on with like radar and other stuff. Down here you have the audio, what's happening there. Over here you have the all-wheel drive system and vehicle information. So you can see the little dots indicate there are other menus. You use the side buttons, the back and forth buttons, to move through those. So here we're just looking at a lot of quick stuff. This is showing you some of your status and what's on and what's off. Then you can go down, and here's even more. So this is where you actually turn those things on and off quickly. So if you need to do it from here, you can go through here and do it. Now, I will say that the parking radars are smart. If you're in neutral, the parking radars turn themselves off. I didn't have to turn them off manually to go through the car wash. That's a big bonus. Anyway, and then, you can see some emergency information and so on. So nice little driver information screen, very easy to use and quick to understand. On the digital speedometer, you can look at stuff like fuel economy and other stuff. So you can just see how you've been doing. Now, my fuel economy has been pretty low because I've been idling a lot in the last day or two because it's so cold. But I will talk about fuel economy right now. So the EPA gives this van an overall rating of 35 mpg. That's pretty good, and I think pretty achievable because the city rating is pretty high, and that's where a hybrid really shines, is in the city. But on the highway, doing my highway loop quick check, I got 38.5, which is half more, 0.5 more than the 38 this is rated for. So I think most people, given my conditions versus what regular people are driving, I think most people can see that 38 on the highway really easily. I think a lot of people will be pushing 39 and so. I was able to get that because I was doing, or I wasn't like hypermiling or anything. I was driving the van like it normally would be, which means it's never in a hurry. Because to be really frank, that's my number one complaint about this van. It is never in a hurry. The little 2.5 liter hybrid system is just not in a hurry to get anywhere. You have 245 horsepower to use, which is more than enough for a van of this size, and yet it's never in a hurry. So there you go. It's probably what I'll title the video. I don't know. But that's kind of the gist. Anyway, fuel economy, phenomenal. So there you go. Now, let's look at some more stuff. Over here you got your Duke's lights. You push button start right there. Over here you have the infotainment. So you see it's new. It's up off the dash and away from things. Allows the dash to be lower to give you more visibility out front. Nicely done. This is a good little touchscreen system. It's slightly outdated. There are better systems on the market. This one is not the best, but it's not terrible. it's good. So this is kind of the home screen. So if you were to push this button, this is where you end up. You can go to menus here, which on this screen just takes you to all of these menus in display. In some screens, it will take you to submenus. So on a couple of things, it will take you to submenus. You have some apps if you have a phone connected. I believe mine's disconnected right now. It is. But there's your Entune app suite. If you're running Entune on your phone, you can connect those apps here. Nice little touches. You can do things like remote climate control and stuff like that, which are cool to have. Over here is your Seek, Track, Phone, and the apps. So that app screen I was on, you can hit that really fast. And then you have volume and tuner control. Nice system, runs really well, and the JBL stereo in this is really good. It's not bitchin' awesome, but it's really good. Now down here you have some climate stuff. So you can see what's going on here. I've turned most everything off. The rear climate is still on. It's a tri-zone, but everything else is off because I don't want it blowing into the mic. Here I have the bun warmers on low. Here you have seat coolers, auto. So when you turn on, everything goes to auto, and you can see it, the temperature will try to do its thing and so on. You turn it off with that, and so forth. You know, you have individual settings on either side here. If you click on the rear here, now you're controlling the rear instead of the front. So nice little system, pretty easy to use. It's intuitive, no guesswork at all. Right below that, you can see this. This is a wireless charging pad. Now this shelf is endemic to the Sienna and all its packages. Nice and useful. You can put lots of stuff in here. It's got a little stop here, so if you put a phone, it doesn't slide that way. This is rubberized, so when you put a phone here to charge, it should stay there. You have a USB here. This is your data plug right there. And then you have just lots of nice little storage right there. Now right here, you have another spot for a phone where it can go up and down if it's short enough. Mine's a little too tall. You have drink holder here, drink holder here. These are good American size, so they will hold large drinks. They're not just for, you know, your energy drink or your Starbucks, your tiny Starbucks. Over here is your shifter, and then you can see what the controls are. They're pretty straightforward. When you're all the way in drive, you can move it over like so and control gearing that way. That's it for that. Down here you have parking brake, pull to set, push to release. Hill hold right here, so you can hold on hills if you need to. Most of the time I think it should just do it okay on its own. You won't need this. One of the beauties of a hybrid system is that the motors can be controlled, and they kind of do a lot of that holding for you. But if you need it here, there you go. Normally in a car I like to jokingly call this the launch control, but this car doesn't launch. So yeah, done. EV mode here. So if you have enough battery, you can force it to go into electric vehicle to drive electrically. So if you're pulling in, you know, into the driveway, pulling into the neighborhood, pulling into a parking garage, and you want the van to be quiet, you can do it right there. You can also just do it to try to save fuel. I was talking about drive modes. Here's how you set them. There's EV and Eco. Those are basically your only real drive modes in this. You also have just a normal mode, which is basically turning all of that off, and it gets slightly more aggressive on the engine. Here you have this nice bougie cover. A phone can go right here, almost sideways. Mine's again a little too long, but a lot of phones would fit here sideways. And then this bougie cover opens up, 2 more drink holders. Look at that. So slightly smaller drinks will go in here. Nicely done there. Then we have one of my favorite features in this van. So this is obviously the cover, right, for the storage compartment. It's pretty deep, goes down a little ways. There's some extra USBs in there, a C and an A. And then these armrests never get in the way. How awesome is that? So if I'm sitting here, I can just push the button like that. Don't have to move my arm. It opens and closes. That's sweet. Now, looking at the seating. So this is, again, the Platinum Edition, so it is the top end. But these are ventilated. I believe it's real leather in this. You can also get faux leather packages. So ventilated and heated, so you get both. You have both heating and cooling on these seats. Really nice. They adjust well. They have tons of room, lots of leg room under there. And they're just nice design. It's just a nice flow that's in here. It's not, you know, like uber luxury or something, but it is really well done, and it fits with the contention that I give, which is that this is really, especially in this package, this is basically a luxury vehicle. Now looking up here, I got a couple things to show you. This mirror here is a normal mirror like this. Flip it like this, and it uses the camera on the back of the van. So if you have a bunch of junk in the back, you know, you're hauling a whole lot of cargo. Where's the button? There we go. You're hauling a bunch of cargo, you got a lot of people, and they're a little bit distracting. You can use that to see through them and look out the back and know what's going on. This here is your conversation mirror so that you can talk to people in the back. It's concave and or convex and slightly tilted so that if you have little kids, you should be able to see them through that. Just nicely done. I'm really impressed with that. And then up here, some buttons. You can control the side doors here, the rear hatch here. This is for the sunroofs and some lighting. Nicely set up. I like the way this looks. Now I'm going to get in the back. We're going to talk about that. So there's still some junk in there from my kids, but here's the back seats. I'm just going to get in. It's easy to do. And sit. And I want to note that this seat is set for me at 6'3", and I still have all this leg room, and the seat I'm sitting in will still go back. Now if I do the electric close on the door, I just push the button right there and it closed. You can also use the handle to open and close. Same on the outside. This also has the built-in sunshades. This has the rear seat entertainment system, so this is one of the wireless headphone sets for that. And just a lot of nice space in here. So you can see down here there's some drink holders. This folds, or this right here, a couple of drink holders here, some junk I probably need to throw out. 120 volt outlet, I was talking about that. Your HDMI for the rear entertainment is right there. Up here you have some more USBs. These are nice because they're both just charging ports. You have one of each, right? And then you have just this wonderful look and feel back here. These seats are exceedingly comfortable. The rear seat entertainment is this huge screen. Let me see if I can find the button. There we go. It's this huge screen, big wide screen like this, and nicely done. And then rear climate controls are right here. The rear seats, I will point out, in this Platinum package, the middle row seats are heated. So you do have seat heating on these. And then in the third row, you have nice third row, easy access through here. And they fold down like that when you put stuff in. So we did a grocery run yesterday. We had a whole bunch of stuff in the tub that's behind these seats in the back. I'll show you the cargo area in a minute. And this seat just popped right down to get out of the way. It was down in that tub. I just lifted it up and dropped it right there. That can be up for 3 across back here, or you can fold it all the way down into there. I'll show you that when we go back there. And then just nice seating and easy access. The 2 ways to access are down the middle right here, which you can see my kids have done a lot, and also by folding the seat back. So from outside the van, or if you're in the back, you can grab right here and the seat folds up and slides forward. It gives you that big space to get in and out. Really well done. That also locks this seat right here. So you have to pull the handle again in order to move it again. Otherwise it will stay right here and it won't shake around, and you can just leave it if you just plan on driving around with this like this. Nicely done. Let's go look at the cargo. So you can see the cargo area is pretty large. Good space back here. The tub goes down pretty far. It's about 7 or 8 inches down there. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. Now I talked about these seats. I want to just show you. I'm going to try to do it one-handed. Normally I would hold that seatbelt with one hand and do this with the other. So you just grab, you can see they're conveniently numbered. You grab that and push, and there you go. Now it's down in there. Both sides do that, so you have a flat load all the way across. Or I can pull like that and then lift like that and find the lock point, and there's the third row right where I want it. Boom. See that? Just wonderful little setup. You've got your tire iron and stuff in there. You got storage right there. So if you have the third seat up there, which you can get as an option, that fits in between those two captain's chairs in the middle row, you can take that out and shove it right in there. It fits perfectly right there. That's what that compartment is for. Otherwise, you can just put stuff in there like we did. Milk carton. You get to them right there. So really nicely done. Get a load of these wheels. So there you go. Now, I told you we'd look at the Monroney. Let's do that really quick. Like I said, we're looking at a total of about $54,000 and change for this with delivery. The base for this Platinum all-wheel drive hybrid model is $50,460. The rear seat entertainment is about $1,400. You can take or leave that. I personally really like it, but my kids are now at an age the youngest of them is 10, that they all have their own Chromebooks and stuff. I don't know that I really would need that anymore. The 1500 watt inverter is very much recommended. That $300 gets you all of those extra 120 power outlets. The digital rear view mirror makes driving this so much easier, especially in when you have a lot of stuff in it, and when you're trying to parallel park, gives you lots of visibility. So well worth that $200. The rest of this is all, again, take or leave. I would get the all-weather liners because it makes cleanup in this so much easier. Those rubber floor mats are a big deal. The crossbars are referring to crossbars on the back of the van, or on the top of the van. Those are for the cargo space. I would definitely get those. So, nicely done. And again, I would say that this van in this Platinum package is on par with almost any luxury vehicle I can name, right around that midpoint. So, just well done. That's what I got. I went long, but not actually as long as I thought. I thought I was going to be working on 30 minutes with this, so I'm pretty impressed. I got this done in like 20 minutes. That's awesome. So there you go. This has been Aaron, sitting in the 2021 Toyota Sienna Hybrid. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.